Hey everyone, so I wanted to do a quick update because it is less than 24 hours before I leave, and I've actually been kind of radio silent on like YouTube and social media, and there's a lot of updates on kind of what's been happening. I'm just going to kind of read off of some notes because I'm trying to go fast here and be efficient. But the past 10 days have been just like absolute pure panic. And on these trips, like right before I leave on like a multi-month adventure, these things are always stressful for like the past couple weeks. But 10 days ago, I went to go pay all my bills ahead of time. I pay it like every bill for the amount of time that I plan to be gone. So I went to go pay my storage for the next 3 months, which is where I keep everything valuable while I'm gone. It's actually like a makeshift wood shop that I use for work. And whenever I went to go pay, I found out that they are actually selling the place and that I needed to have everything out of there in the middle of my trip, which means I had less than 10 days to basically move all my things, like find a new storage place, deconstruct everything that I had built in there. And I live out in the middle of nowhere where we have no storage units. So, like, the next closest place is 40 minutes away. And on top of that, like, I don't ever, like, while I'm on these trips, I don't ever keep my valuables inside of my house. Like, I just move basically everything out. And that because basically people know I'm gone. And so I just leave like my van or my house an empty shell basically that nothing there's nothing that anybody would want to steal. So I had to figure out a place to store this stuff that's not my house, that's like offsite that nobody knows about. So that kind of like added to the stress. um you know uh it is actually like the day before I leave, and I'm literally still waiting on gear. I have to drive to Santa Fe in a little bit to pick up a piece of gear I'm waiting for. So I actually do this thing on these big trips where I give people a false start date. So let's say that I'm leaving on like June 15th. I will actually tell them I'm leaving on June 1st because people just kind of don't understand or don't like conceptualize it in their head that if I'm leaving on June 15th, I can't be doing stuff or I can't be waiting on gear June 15th. So I always say like a couple weeks before, I'll say June 1st, and then that way I will get the gear or like we'll be wrapping things up around like June 10th. And then that makes it so it's not so stressful. But for this trip, because like I'm doing parts of this in the beginning with other people, I had to say the actual date, which kind of like throws me off because people just don't understand it. Literally, somebody asked me if I could do something on March 8th, the day that I'm flying out. And so I wasn't able to do that. And that's kind of added stress to this. Um, and on top of that, it seems like everything's been going wrong. My plan for the last 10 days before all of this storage stuff came up, was to like get everything ready, have all my gear dialed in, and work on filming and editing because I was supposed to have about like 3 or 4 more videos out by now, and actually they haven't even been edited. And so part of the problem was we've had like 30 plus mile an hour winds here for the past week, which makes it about impossible to do this long form recording. And number one, just like the microphone audio won't really sound good. You actually at 30 miles an hour, you won't even be able to hear me very well. On top of that, I was doing some editing and my SD card reader broke. So I literally had to drive to Santa Fe, that's 40 miles away, get a new SD card reader, come back. So, like, I lost hours doing that. And then I still have like this sinus and lung infection that is just making it difficult to like run and eat and do all these things. And I would really appreciate it if I could get past this because it's just hanging out in my chest. So, a few updates. Kind of last minute, I've decided to change boards. I've been working on this, on making a surf skate into a long distance board. But I just could not get it dialed in the way that I wanted to. and I will be skating almost 1,000 miles during this whole process. And so I need something I could trust. So I'm actually bringing this board. It's the Pantheon Quest. And this is a new one, but I've put like 3,000 plus miles on my other Pantheon Quest. It is reliable, it's durable, and I know it really well. So that's really what I want whenever I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm not giving up on this surf skate idea. I think it's a great idea. I really love the board that I was setting up. I just couldn't work out some of the kinks that I needed to be with that board for 1,000 miles or like a couple months. So I'm going to be bringing this board with me. I'm also making some changes to the filming equipment, and I wanted to have a video out about this because I'm super excited about this. But I've worked out a few of the kinks of how I'm going to be filming this whole process while I'm out there. So that way you can kind of see what I'm seeing, and it doesn't like stifle the conversations that I'm having, the experiences that I'm having from like the idea of like pulling out a camera while I'm talking to someone. So this is all very exciting. And I'm making some gear changes so I could do more of these long form videos on the trail, which part of the issue with that is that I need something of which I can edit all these videos on more than just my cell phone. But long form, I was going to have to wait to do that. So I'm making some gear changes to help me with that. And I'm going to kind of get in that while I'm on the trail. Yeah, we got done with our fundraising campaign, which went amazing. We ended up through like public and private donations raising about $5,000. So that is going to go help towards like all this gear, all the expenses that go along with that. And I'm actually going to be putting out a video while I'm on trail talking about how that money is allocated and everything like that. And so to wrap it all up, like I had all of these lofty goals before I started, and I really needed about 4 months to do all of this, and I had 7 weeks. And so whenever I set goals for myself, I consider it like an 80-20 rule. I set them a little lofty and then try to aim for about 80%. And in reality for this, I made it about 70% on like all of the goals. Some I was actually below, some I was above, but if you averaged it out, it's about 70. Considering I had less than half the time that I really needed for this, and I was filming and I was learning all this new equipment and gear, 70% is pretty good. I wanted to do an update video so you kind of know what's happening, but I fly out in the morning for Texas, and so I think things are going well. I'm a super nervous wreck right now. I'm in the last 24 hours of getting everything done, and we're making it work. Thank you to everyone who like supported us, supported me and the xTexas Trail, and even like gave words of encouragement, helped me last minute. Like this storage thing, I'm literally just storing things at friends' houses, and we just made it work. And so people like kind of stepped up and helped me, and I really appreciate that. And the next time you see a video, I'll be in Texas.